Okay, Enzo Maccarinelli versus Juergen Braehmar, WBA Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. So Enzo Maccarinelli has got off the floor, got off the canvas after being knocked out by Denis Lebedev, and Olaf Alabi, and David Hay, and the fight against Shane McPhilbin, and the stoppages against Oval McKenzie, and but Enzo has had some good wins. I remember the fight he had against Braithwaite. That was a very good win. And he had some shocking defeats at cruiserweight, and now he's moved down to light heavyweight, and he's put on some okay performances. But I like Enzo Maccarinelli, and as he challenges Juergen Braehmar for this title, the only thing, the one thing goes from my over and over and over and over again. The only thing I don't think Enzo can win this fight by outboxing Juergen Braehmar. No. All I'm thinking about this fight is if he lands one on Juergen Braehmar's chin, we could be seeing a new world champion. That's what I keep thinking. Despite all the knockout defeats he's had, and Maccarinelli's fought some of the best fighters in the world at cruiserweight, and it's a big jump again from British level, now going right back up to world level against Juergen Braehmar. But how good is Juergen Braehmar? Don't get me wrong. How good is he? Because if you remember, Juergen Braehmar was the guy that cleverly was meant to fight. He was the original WBO champion, from what I remember. And then I think Juergen Braehmar, with his temperamental attitude, got sent to prison. He was imprisoned because he's got a bit of a bad boy image, or he did have. I don't know what it's like now. And he went to prison, and then the title became vacant, I think, or it was given to Cleverly. So Cleverly became the WBO light heavyweight champion, and for whatever reason that fight was never made. So now you have this fight, and I like Juergen Braehmar, but he's never mentioned in the same breath as a Pascal, a Hopkins, a Shumanov, a Kovalev, a Stevenson. You don't hear Braehmar in those big fights, and you never heard his name in it. And if you look at Braehmar's record, the biggest name on Braehmar's record will be Enzo Maccarinelli. So it's the biggest name on Maccarinelli's on Braehmar's record, but it's not the biggest name on Maccarinelli's record. Okay, so although Braehmar's the favourite, I don't know. Braehmar is he's a big puncher. He is, and he's a southpaw style, and he's a good fighter. But I don't know. I just Enzo himself says he's had a hard time. He's saying about his father passing away, and his child being discovered. His child being autistic. So that's a hell of a lot to go through. And I did an interview recently with Maccarinelli's trainer, what's his name again? The Rocket, Gary Lockett. That's it. I did an interview with Gary Lockett, and I spoke about the previewing the fight with him and Juergen Braehmar, and I actually got a lot of faith, or a lot of encouragement about this fight. And the obvious choice, and a lot of people when they do predictions take the obvious choice. They take the obvious choice and say, Juergen Braehmar will win the fight because he's the better fighter, or he is the betting favourite. But there's a reason why upsets are there, and I'm going with Enzo Maccarinelli with this one. I'm going with Enzo Maccarinelli in a shock upset. I think Maccarinelli is the bigger man in there. He'll be physically the stronger man in there. And it'll be interesting to see how much poundage Maccarinelli can put on between the time of the weigh-in on the Friday and when he actually gets in the ring on Saturday. Now, Maccarinelli's coming down from cruiserweight to light heavy, whereas I don't know what weight Juergen Braehmar walks around at. Now, remember, I believe Juergen Braehmar fought Ricky Hatton in the amateurs. So to me, body structure wise, you'd think that, you know, someone like Maccarinelli, who's around 6'4", you know, he's big and could make the heavyweight limit, but he'd be a very small heavyweight because he'd have to bulk up. But as a light heavy, he's going to be a big light heavy, a strong light heavy, and I think if Maccarinelli is going to win the fight against Braehmar, I think it's got to be in the first 6. So I'd be looking up what I'd like to see in this fight. For Maccarinelli to win this fight, I'd like to see him go out all guns blazing, really going out there to try and take Braehmar's head off. I won't really be happy to see him getting off the, you know, taking Braehmar's head off, but in a calculated manner. Use the long range, use the jab, use your right hand. You're the taller guy. You've got the longer reach. You know, use those attributes, but hit him hard and early. You know, let's see what Braehmar's really made of. Thing is, Braehmar's never fought really outside of Europe. I mean, outside of where he's at. So it'd be interesting to see what it's like when he's got a big name in front of him, what his mindset's like. So we don't know what Braehmar's like against the very best. And I'm not saying Maccarinelli is the very best, but I'm saying he's the best guy that that Braehmar's ever fought. So I think this could be a very interesting fight. But I'm going with Maccarinelli because on my mind I'm thinking, yeah, Braehmar could be doing what he's doing and you know, Maccarinelli could land. So I'm going with Maccarinelli on this one. I'm going with Maccarinelli. Maybe I'm trying to convince myself. I'm not saying that Juergen Braehmar is not the favourite. I'm not saying Juergen Braehmar hasn't got good skills. I'm not saying Juergen Braehmar isn't a big puncher and could knock Maccarinelli out. Not saying that. But, you know, the track record, what Maccarinelli's done, what he's gone through to come back to this point, to get to the world title shot, he's going to be hungry in there and he's going to be a dangerous man in there. So if he's learnt from his mistakes, there's no reason why I can't see him, Maccarinelli, win the fight. I'll tell you something now. The night where he fought Lebedev and the night he fought against over Ola Afolabi, I picked Ola Afolabi to beat and knock Enzo out late because I suspected when I was hearing about it over Afolabi, I heard he was sparring with the Klitschko's and I heard that Afolabi took a really good shot. So I said to myself, you know what? I think that Afolabi will soak up the punishment early and take him out late. And that's exactly what happened with a devastating punch. So, yeah, I think if it's going to happen with Enzo, if he's going to get knocked out, but at least I want to see him, if he's going to get knocked out, let him be knocked out trying. But again, I'm going with Enzo by KO over Braehmar in a shock upset. It's a tough one, and I like to stick my neck out on the line with fights. A lot of guys don't do it because they don't want eggs on their faces. I don't care, to be honest. But you know, you can't say there's an upset. I'm going to be one that's surprised. I'm always there for the upset, and yeah, I'm going for a shock upset here. A fight that a lot of people overlook, and I'm going with Enzo Maccarinelli for the knockout. You can't discount Enzo. If he's got whether he's got the same punching power he had as a cruiserweight, a light heavyweight, remains to be seen. But like I said about Braehmar, is Enzo the biggest puncher he's faced? That's the question. And how does his chin hold up against, you know, Maccarinelli's power? You know, the best punch to a southpaw, they say, is the right hand. They also say the best way to fight a southpaw is to rush them. So let me know what you guys think. I'm out.